Hi everyone, my name is Melanie Fehnel. Welcome to my webcast. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Lancaster. I'm currently teaching 3rd grade in Manheim Township. This is my 3rd year teaching, and I'm very excited to be back at Millersville because I did Millersville as my undergrad. Some fun facts about me: I love to craft, sing, dance, anything artsy. I love it. Big exciting news, I bought a house this summer. That's been fun. And I'm also a big ice hockey fan. Love the Flyers and the Hershey Bears. As for online classes, back in my undergrad, I took an introduction to atmosphere class. And now fast forward 3-4 years and I'm taking this class. So I'm very excited to try online classes again. So one of the things I did was I watched the video Inside Life of a Cyber Teacher. So what I did was I decided to talk about the pros of cyber school and the pros of a brick and mortar school. So with cyber school, after watching that video, one thing I really liked about it was it being a safe space for kids, especially for those kids who feel really embarrassed talking in front of a whole bunch of people or afraid of making a mistake or saying the wrong thing. I feel like they have more of a comfort zone being able to try something new or participate when the only person that's looking at them is a teacher compared to 20 students in a classroom. The other thing I really liked about the cyber school was the management for behavior and academics. If you had a behavior problem, you could easily mute them. The teacher could talk to them individually. Plus, with a click of a button, you can create groups. You can send students to different activities. It takes that transition time where you usually see those behavior problems cut and pretty much demolished because you can easily move students from one thing to another. As a brick and mortar teacher, and watching that video, you can do some of the similar stuff that they do in cyber school right in the classroom, using technologies and management and in your classroom. Some resources I use are Padlet, Google Drive, Nearpod. Those are just to name a few. I've also seen Google Classroom for those schools who are able to do that, which looks really cool. And the big thing that I see more of a benefit to that brick and mortar style school is that students are working with people face to face. And that in itself is a skill for social, emotional, and even in a learning community, because for most jobs nowadays, you can't do everything behind a computer screen. There are some, but speaking face to face with another person is a true skill. Alrighty. I then read chapter 4 of Making the Move to K-12 Online Teaching. At first, I have to say, Carrie Rice seemed pretty biased towards cyber school. He made it sound like face-to-face classroom teachers are like teaching old school lecture style. I know in the video of the Inside Life of a Cyber Teacher, the one guy talked about the nun at the front of the classroom with the ruler, when in reality, all these different strategies like guide on the slide, instructor, facilitator, advisor, I feel like I wear all 4 of those hats all the time. I'm creating connections through presentation of materials. I'm getting to know my students. I'm making connections with parents. And especially with the school that I'm at, not only am I making connections with parents, I also have to be an advocate to my students and some of my families as well. Alright, I really like the online standards. After looking at PA core standards with all the numbers, letters, these were super easy to follow. Incorporates a lot of ideas that I'm trying to incorporate in the classroom setting right here, which I really liked. My only question is, I'm curious to see what it looks like when it's not face-to-face, and especially if they said online school is dealing with more students than what I have in the classroom. What does it look like teaching those students grit, differentiating for more than 20 students that I have right now? What does that look like, especially with the student-driven and individualized plans? All right, I watched the cyber school commercials. So I kind of did a little bit of pro-con list. K-12, I thought it was great with the standards. It seemed really student-centered. I love the idea of going back and revisiting. It's not just stick with one plan. If it works, it works. If not, too bad. The only thing I would have liked to see from the school commercial is, are they working with other students? It seemed more of teacher and student working together and teacher and parent, but are they working more on those teamwork skills as well? Connections was probably my favorite out of all of them. I mean, as the laptop screens popped up, you could see evidence of grit, teamwork. It's not just online, there's an outside community as well. And seemed very student-centered and seemed to go along very well with the online standards. Carpe Diem, it was lacking, to say the least. It seemed very student-centered in having them make the choice of where they want to go to school, how much face-to-face they want, and how much online teaching. But there was no other information that told us about the school. What do they do? It really didn't talk about any of those other online standards. So as a parent or teacher, if I thought about going to Carpe Diem, I would definitely need a lot of more information from them. My goal as an online teacher is just pretty much become an effective teacher. I want to use technology and online resources to help reach my students, not only with engagement, but also using that technology as a resource for students and even parents if they need reteach, if they need to see something in a different way, or use technology to get extra practice. I also want my students to become technology literate. For a technology-driven society, it's amazing how much some of my kids don't know how to use a computer, like opening a Word document or typing, or even how to Google search something. So I want to make my kids more technology literate. And as a teacher, at the end of the day, my desk right now, it is covered in papers and grading. So what I want to do with technology is I want to find out ways that I can document my students' successes, document how they're doing, showing examples, keeping my students' grades together without all this paper trails everywhere, just to help keep myself organized and help showcase what my students are doing here at school. Well, thank you so much for listening to my screencast. I also want to thank Google Images for letting me borrow some of those pictures there. I hope you guys have a great day, and I look forward to collaborating with you.